Do you feel that it would be government overreach to try and take or limit people's ability to have firearms?
Citizens that are armed, that are on the up and up, will do a lot more than less armed citizens.
Do you think the solution to the mass shootings would be more guns in more people's hands?
Yep, exactly.
Let's hop into a Good Liars video at an NRA convention as we use it as a tool to discuss gun control and its genuine necessity. So if you can, take a second, like the video. It helps us out a ton. It helps the video grow, and we'll be back with the needed context after.
Everybody needs to pack a gun, then there wouldn't be mass shootings. If everybody was packing it and we had the Second Amendment, mass shootings would come down in a hurry.
Do you think the solution to the mass shootings would be more guns in more people's hands?
Yep, exactly.
Did that sound right when you said it out loud?
Yes.
I love this fantasy, like Wild West hero view that people have about Americans, as if more of us had instruments of death and destruction, we would use them to stop the death and destruction instead of cause more death and destruction. The logic of more of that thing that causes the problem will solve the problem is so circular that it on its face is really dumb. I don't get why people make it, right? Like, let's solve drug addiction, we're giving them more drugs while we're at it. But the numbers on it are pretty clear also. Good guy with gun very rarely beats bad guy with gun. Owning a gun, however, just makes it more likely statistically that you and those close to you will die from gun violence. And bringing a firearm into any conflict doesn't raise your safety. It just raises the chance that somebody dies. And you're rolling the dice that that's not you. Where again, most homicides are done, or more homicides are done, with civilian firearms than justified killings are. And it's not even close.
Do you feel that it would be government overreach to try and take or limit people's ability to have firearms?
I don't feel that way. It is that way. Yeah, it would be. The Second Amendment guarantees our right to keep and bear arms.
Would it be government overreach to enter someone's home, a U.S. citizen, without a search warrant?
Absolutely. Wouldn't you?
Wouldn't I believe it would be government overreach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. That's allowed to happen right now. Donald Trump has ordered that people can, ICE agents can enter homes without a warrant.
He has?
Yes.
I don't know.
Is that government overreach?
You're government overreach.
I love that conservatives get offended by things that are so clearly not government overreach and will call them authoritarian or whatever. Then when there is clear government overreach in front of their face, they cheer it on and vote for it because, like, you know, they'll get to have their guns. The right to bear arms is not all encompassing, right? That's why the word all isn't in the text. It's pretty specific. Most people intuitively know this to be true anyway. The average person wouldn't bite the bullet and would say, no, a civilian doesn't need a nuke. A civilian doesn't need a rocket launcher. This is where you can see a line is drawn in the sand somewhere. We don't think it means all arms. It is also from the Bill of Rights. All of the Bill of Rights is a right given to states to regulate for their people. The Bill of Rights was created to give the states assurances against the creation of a federal government. People who talk about amendments have never read the Federalist Papers, and it shows that the party of the Constitution doesn't actually value the Constitution at all. And that's also kind of why the language includes things like militias. Like, if you can't buy assault weapons, but you can buy a handgun, you still have the right to bear arms, and it's not being infringed upon.
Do you have any ideas as to how this country can kind of curb gun violence a little bit?
Less gun laws, less restrictions.
To stop gun violence, you would say less gun laws, less restrictions?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
More citizens that are armed, that are on the up and up, will do a lot more than less armed citizens.
Okay, you're thinking of people protecting other people with guns?
Absolutely.
Because there's about 500 million guns in this country, but it just keeps getting less safe for people.
Sure, that's a opinion. Absolutely.
Do you think it's just a coincidence that there's the most mass shootings in this country and also the most guns?
I think that it's a coincidence that it's more publicized than anywhere else, yeah.
Well, no, but they're...
I really want to get into the data and show you guys, but like first I have to say, how does this logically even make sense to anyone? The idea that those in an area of a shooting would be safer if some random Joe with an SD9 who shoots at targets at the shooting range once a week that aren't moving, has never been fired at, has never fired at anything living, and definitely has no experience or training in a life or death situation and handling themselves, is letting shots fly back while piped up off adrenaline, which is also going to cause cause the original shooter to get pumped up off adrenaline and start firing back. I mean, intuitively, right? Logically, I don't think this makes sense as a safer scenario for anyone. More guns is going to be more chaos. And then there's the facts, right? Highest gun ownership in history, highest rate of mass shootings in history. Now, that is correlation, not causation, but when we see things like states with assault weapon bans have lower rates of firearm mortality and less instances of mass shootings, states with less gun ownership seeing less gun death in general, states with stricter gun laws seeing less gun violence. I mean, there is almost no path of argumentation within the scope of logic or reality that could justify having more relaxed gun laws.